Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Unpolished 20 something. My name's Rachel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that was requested by my friend Kiara. So thank you Kiara for sending a suggestion to me. And this video is going to be two separate eye looks, so the one that I have on right now, as well as another one that are both very easy intro to adding colored eyeshadow to your lives and how to do those looks. They're, again, so easy. I promise you anyone can do them. This might look really intimidating, but I promise you it's really not. It's very simple. It does use a lot more shades than probably beginners use, but the other eye look is even easier. Like, honestly, I promise you, when I say anyone can do it. So I hope y'all enjoy these tutorials. Before further ado, because this video is going to be so long since I'm doing two eye looks, let's get started. As always, Emma's right behind me. So I'm going to start this look with putting on eyeshadow primer. It's what I do every time I start my eye makeup. I'll be using the MAC Cosmetics Soft Ochre Paint Pot. So in case it wasn't obvious, stop, no, stop, what are you doing? Always trying to get in my water. I even have a glass that has a lid on it and she's still trying to get in my water. Ah! Anyway, so I already have the rest of my face done because I'm only going to be focusing on the eyeshadow today, especially since I'll be doing two separate looks. I really just want that to be the whole focus of the video. But if you're interested how I do the rest of my face, I have a full face makeup tutorial already on my channel. It's my first video. It's the Jaclyn Morphe palette video. So if you want to know how I do like the rest of my face makeup, just go watch that one and you can definitely see that. Or even the how to do photo shoot makeup, also a great one to see the way I do my full face. So since I have my eyes primed now, to start off this look, I'm going to go into the Tarteist Pro palette and just use some of the more neutral shades. And first I'm going to start out with the shade Classic right there. And I'm just putting this all over my lid to set that primer that we just put on. So next I'm going to be using a crease brush, a really fluffy brush, and I'm going to be going into this color right here called Sheet. I'm going to be focusing this in my crease and above my crease. And this look really doesn't require you to be super precise with it, so just get a big fluffy brush and just go in. Just make sure when you're doing this that your eyes are looking completely blended. So take your time and really make sure that there's no harsh lines. And then next I'm going to be going in with this color right here, which is called Innocent, and focusing it just right below where I put that last shade. Essentially all we're doing is creating definition or contouring our eyelid. This look that I'm doing right now is really just a beginner's type of adding color to your eyes. This really is aimed at people that want to introduce color to their eye looks without going too far in all at once. But it's a fun look. It's one of my favorite looks to do that have a lot of color. I feel like you can wear it to work, you can wear it just out running errands and no one's gonna look at you too crazy. And then next I'm gonna be going in with the next shade right here, this sort of orange terracotta color called Whimsy, and putting this more in the outer corners of my eye. But I'm still being kind of messy with it. And then I'm going to go back into the first color, Classic, that vanilla shade, and just brighten up the inner corner a little, just to clean up where we got a little messy. And now for the fun part, this is where we're going to start adding color. So to start adding the blue on my lower lash line, I'm going to be using the Marc Jacobs Highliner in Out of the Blue. This is a pricey eyeliner, I know, and I'm so sorry, but I am a contact wearer and it's really hard for me to find eyeliners that don't transfer onto my contacts, and if you are a contact wearer, this is the best eyeliner, I promise you. It doesn't move all day. Even if you're not a contact wearer, it's just a really great eyeliner. For those of you that are contact wearers like myself, know that this is a great one to buy because it won't ever smudge onto your contacts. But it's also not going to move all day even if your eyes are watering. It's amazing. So I'm going to be putting this on my lower waterline. I'm really putting it all over and just being kind of messy with it because we're going to smudge it and clean it up. Y'all, I am so sorry. I had my air on. I forgot to turn it off before I filmed, which is what that white noise was. So just turned it off. I'm really sorry that you've had to deal with the first couple minutes of this makeup tutorial listening to that. So next, now that I've smudged the blue all on my lower lash line, I'm going to go in with the blue shadow and sort of continue smudging it. And I'm going to be using, out of the Urban Decay Electric palette, I'm going to be using this color Chaos right down here, which is really, it looks pretty blue. It might have a little bit of a purple hue to it, but it's pretty close to the color of the eyeliner. And I'm going to be taking a really small definer brush to do this. And then just to smudge it out a little bit more and make it look a little bit more seamless, I'm going to be going back into the Tarteist Pro palette and going into this neutral shade Innocent that we used earlier. And I'm going to be going on a pencil brush. This is an e.l.f. brush. It's super affordable and it's a fantastic brush. And just doing blending at the bottom of that blue. Okay, so that's honestly like the biggest portion of it. I'm going to do a quick inner corner highlight, which I'm going to go into the Jaclyn Morphe palette for that, and then put mascara on, and we're pretty much done with this look. And the Jaclyn Morphe palette has my favorite inner corner highlight. So you can definitely do eyeliner on the top lash line. Frankly, I don't very often anyway, so I'm not going to for this look. I also kind of like the way it looks unbalanced with the lower lash line being very bold and not having anything on the upper lash line. But that's not, you know, everyone's favorite look. So if you want to go ahead and do a wing or whatever, go for it if that's your look, but I'm just not going to today. And as always, I'm using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. I also think this look would look totally fine if you didn't put any mascara on the lower lash line. But I just personally don't like the way I look without mascara on the lower lash line, so I'm doing it. Yeah, so that's officially what this look is. It's definitely bold, but it's not as intimidating, and it's super simple to complete. So even if you're new to working with color or even new to doing this type of eye look, it's honestly so simple and so easy. You just do really neutral colors on the top lid. You don't even have to use as many shades as I do unless you want to. Just keep it really simple, just to contour the crease of the eye and then leave everything with that bold lower lash line. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look, and if you try it out, let me know and send me Snapchats or pictures or whatever. If you ever try out any of the looks that I do on here, definitely send them to me. I totally love that. I know some of my friends have already sent me Snapchats of them trying out different tutorials that I've done. So yeah, so this is look number 1, intro to color. So look number 2 is definitely for those of you that are interested in really doing a full eye look that's all bright colors. And for this look, I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Morphe palette that has some horrible fingerprints I'm just gonna cover with my hand. As you know, if you watched my first video, I didn't receive the sheet that has the shade name, so I'm just gonna be pointing to the ones that I'm using today, but I already primed my eyes off camera, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So the Jaclyn palette doesn't have like a vanilla shade, so I'm gonna be going back into the Tarteist Pro palette and just using the vanilla shade Classic all over my lid. When you're working with bright colors, it's even more important to do a light colored base and prime your eyes to make sure that the colors are very vibrant and really show up well on your eyelid, but it'll also just help the colors to make sure that they don't fade throughout the day. First shade that I'm going to go into is this color right here, and we're just putting this in the crease and above, and again using a fluffy brush. Now the reason that I think that the look that I'm doing today is really manageable for those of you that haven't used a lot of bright colors on your eyes is because I'm really only using one bright shadow, just like the last look, but it is going to be more all over the lid. So everything else that you're using is just simple neutral colors. It's very easy to do, and it's a similar technique that I do for almost every eye look, unless I'm doing like a halo eye or something along those lines, but it's really honestly very simple. So next I'm going to be going into this caramel looking shade right there, and we're putting this right in the crease, just right below that last shadow. And now for the fun part, when we start adding the color. So today we're going to be doing this bright purple, and we're going to be putting this primarily in the inner eye, on the inner part of the lid, up until about like 2/3 of the way, I would say we stop with it. And I'm just going to be putting this on my index finger to apply. Now if you're wondering why I'm using my index finger for it, one, it's a shimmery shade, and to keep that shimmer, you're really going to get the most punch when you apply it with your finger, because it's going to be a lot denser than any brush that you apply it with. But if you don't want to use your finger, I would suggest using a setting spray like MAC Fix Plus or something to spray on the brush before putting it on, and definitely using a packing brush. That's something that's a lot denser, that's meant to really pack on eye colors. And honestly, like because it's hard to go to Target and see a packing brush. So one type of brush that's really great for that is concealer brushes, because they are very dense. And again, you really don't have to worry too much about being perfect with this, because we will clean it up. And it's hard to get a perfect application with your finger. Got a little messy. Okay, well, good enough. Just ignore the fact that I might have a little discoloration. So we're going to go back into that first shade and blend out. That's one of the best things about transition shades, is that not only does it give a nice transition to your eyes, and so that there's not a solid line in between shades, but it's also great to go back into to make sure everything looks really blended. So while you use it at the beginning, you also use it at the end and throughout. You want that really seamlessly blended look. Next, I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller fluffy brush, blending brush, and going into this light, like almost milk chocolatey kind of color. And we're putting this in the outer corner, right where that purple ends. And this is going to be used really for blending more than anything else. I'm not worried about getting the color super intense, but I want to blend that purple on the end right there and add a little bit of depth, but we're going to go in with a little bit more depth right after this. To add even more depth, we're going to be going in with this dark black, which I know black can be very intimidating, but just start out with a little, just one tap right into the black. That's all you need to start out with, and you can build it up. And we're going to be putting this on the most outer point of the eye. I had fluffy stuff all over my eye, all over my face this whole video. Awesome. Now I am assuming that the people trying this eye look are beginners to using color, and probably sort of new to just makeup in general, or trying new things. So I'm not going to make it super intense black, but if you want to, go for it. I think it'd look beautiful. And I also think it'd be beautiful if you made it like a really intense, like you put tape down and make a sharp line there. But I'm not going to do that today because this really is a beginner's type tutorial. And then also I think this is probably a night look to a lot of people, but if you're wearing this in the day and then going out at night, I think it'd also be super easy to just deepen up the outer corner with black a little bit more, and then it's like a really intense smoky eye for nighttime. This eye always gives me a lot of trouble with blending because I have a lot more folds on the outer eye. One last time, I'm going to be going in with the fluffy brush and that first transition shade and blending everything out. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to be keeping it pretty simple, especially if you're new to colored eyeshadow, like I keep saying. I wouldn't, go straight in with doing bright colors on both the lid and the lower lash line. So I'm going to be going in with that first transition shade yet again and just being really messy, putting it all over the lower lash line. I'm just using a pencil brush for this. And then I'm going to be going into a slightly more defined pencil brush and going into the second shade that we use, that caramel color. And I'm putting this like just above where I put that last color, just being a little bit more defined, but still very smudgy. And then I'm going to be going back into that milk chocolate color with an even more defined pencil brush. I'm doing this mostly on like the outer half of the lower lash line, not going in too far with it, or the 2/3, I guess. The light is so bright that it's like almost hard to see, I'll be honest. And then I'm going to be going in with this tiny little smudger brush, small defined liner brush into that black, and just doing this right on the outer corner. And next I'm going to be putting black eyeliner on the waterline. If I can find it, because I think I lost it. No, I got it. Okay. This is the Kajal or Vasanti Kajal waterline, whatever that I used previously. But any black eyeliner will do. Feel free to put this on your upper lash line, but I know me and it wouldn't stay there anyway because my eyes water too much. But if you have any suggestions for something that'll actually stay on that upper lash line, let me know because I haven't been able to get anything to stay there. So I am going to be doing a winged liner. You definitely don't have to. You could stop here. And for the winged liner, I'm going to be using the Ardency and Punker. It's a felt tip liner. It's one of my favorites. If I'm doing a wing, it's definitely what I'm going to go for. Say a prayer to make the next eye look just as perfect because that was so effortless and my eyeliner is never effortless. I don't do a wing enough for it to be effortless. Oh man, that turned out so well. Okay, not terrible, not a perfect match, but good enough. And lastly, before I put on mascara, I'm going to be going and do my inner corner highlight, and I'm using this shade right here. It's my all-time favorite inner corner highlight, and it's also what I used in the previous look. And now for mascara, as always, my L'Oreal Lash Paradise. So there you go. Here is a sort of purple smoky eye, I guess. It's pretty easy to do, and it's a technique that you can do with so many different eye looks. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, or dual tutorial, since I did 2 different looks. I'm really happy with how this eye look turned out. To be honest, I've never done it before, so first time trying it on camera, which was really ambitious, but I like the way it turned out. I used a technique that I've used for other colored eye looks before, and I think it's definitely manageable. Obviously purple is pretty bright and it's not for everyone to just wear on a daily basis, but I do think it's a pretty wearable colored eye look. You can probably wear it in the daytime if you'd like, especially if you have a purple that's a little bit lighter than this, or if you don't pack it on quite as much and leave it a little bit more sheer. I think it'd be really beautiful even for the daytime. If you try one of these looks, like I said, please send it to me, Snapchat it, Instagram it, tag me in it. I don't care, whatever. I'd love to see y'all's recreations and see, you know, people that are enjoying my tutorials. It makes my day when y'all send Snapchats to me. For some other colored eye looks, if that is something that you want to dip your toes into a little bit more, my first tutorial using the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe eyeshadow palette, I did a turquoise eye look that is definitely out there and definitely not for everyone, but it's a really fun eye look as well. And then the bronze halo eye look that I did, though it's more like bronzy and that might not be like, you know, that crazy of a color or anything, the technique that I used for that video could be used for any color. So, and it's honestly like the easiest eye look of all time. Like anyone can do it, I promise you, and you can definitely use that technique to do a colored eye look. So I'll have both of those videos linked down in the description box if you want to watch them. So that's all. Again, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave, like this video, and share it. As always, if you have any ideas for future videos, please let me know, whether you leave a comment down below or reach out to me via text, Instagram, whatever. I have all of my contacts below in the description box, and I'll also have the products that I used today listed as well. As always, thank you for watching my video, and I hope you'll have a great day.